play the triad and see what else we can get when we take the fifth and move it either up to the sixth or just down to the fourth. Alright, so let's look at our first cage. This is the Ionian cage. This is the one I can play on my guitar. I'm down C tuned, so you're here, lowest playable note, down D tuned, down C tuned. So I get an E shaped C. Okay. Now this is the Ionian cage. It starts on root. The lowest playable note is root. I told my friend that yesterday at the gym, and he goes, "I know." It's like, I know, as if, how do you know? I think I know how he knows. He watches my videos. I was surprised that you know that. How do you know that? Because someone's watching my videos. I'm glad he watches my videos. He's my mentor. He's the one who got me to make the charts. The mighty Cody Hale. So this is the Ionian. This is all the Ionian. It's actually a double cage. Okay, so the shapes we're looking at is RE. Remember the RE string shape or the ER string shape? Root 2 3. Okay, and all this stuff where we've got now this is the Locrian cage though. Okay, so remember we're not going to go back and look at the Ionian cage description. We better do that for a moment. Okay, here it is. This is the formal Ionian cage. Root 2 3 5 6, root 2 3 5. This is the pentatonics there. Okay, so obviously the hand isn't doing that good today. So this is the Ionian cage. Now we're just going to go all the way down Dorian. This is the Dorian where we're going to make the substitution. And here's our G half shape, G minor half shape. Now we have to fully understand this, to look at that G minor shape, we're going to go this way on the Dorian to get to the Ionian listed over on this side. Okay, this would be way up here, like way down here, like 4 feet away, or something like that. Extremely long hypothetical fretboard, where we'd have the Ionian here, and I'm showing the short shape no plays. So we can't get this. So root is here, and we can't get the 7 because it's in no play land. Now, by the way, this sleeve indicator here is for the open string. Okay, so no play land down here. Okay, so we don't get this 7, but we have a G minor shaped half shape there to be able to be played. Here's the regular G minor shape: 2 4 6 2 4 6 2. It's a G minor shaped D minor in the key of C. We can get it up here: 2 4 6 2 4 6 2. Okay, but way down here where we're starting with the root right here on the open string, we can't get that 7 down here, so we're going to have to play the half shape chord. It's going to be 2 4. We're going to hit the 7th of that 2 minor 7th. Okay, that's by definition the split chords up here. Now let me show you that. Okay, let's just review these half-shaped definitions here. These are for chords now. And I can see one's looking at us over here in the chord circles. Okay, in the Dorian here, in the Ionian here is a chord. These are the half-shaped chords as we go around. We've got E, G, A, C, D. That's a pentatonic scale. Spell the word cage. Going backwards: C, A, G, E, D. It's caged backwards as we go up the modes. It's just that between E minor and F major, we have the same shape, an A minor shape there and an A major shape starting in the E cage where the root starts on E. So over here are little rules here. For the minors, C/A means C minor 7th shape, half shape. Okay, so the C minor 7th, the regular chord jargon, it's not old, it's still very much in use, would be the key of B flat, A flat, or E flat if it was a true C minor 7th. Okay, being the 3rd of A flat, the 2nd of B flat, or the 6th of E flat. But we have, in guitar, we deal with shapes. So remember, the C minor 7th shape, the C minor shape in the Dorian. Okay, so that would be the C minor shape. But we're not playing a C minor. We're playing a C minor shape D minor in the key of C. Okay, so we've got, that is what that means. It's a half shape, but we're going to add the 7th. That 7th that we're going to be adding in the key of C, we would be adding the root. Okay, so we were adding the root in the Dorian. And, you know, as the Dorian of B flat, we would be adding the B flat. So here's the C minor. We'd be adding the B flat. Okay, C minor is the 3rd. Okay, we would be adding what? The 2nd. The 2nd. The 2nd is the 7th of the 3rd. Okay. So I just wanted to review that stuff for you guys, and let's look at it. This is the old way of trying to render the half diminished. All right, which is just taking the root shape and going down one scale member from each of the triads. Okay. And we also have a major 7th if we have the major here. All right, the dominant, if it's in red, it's the dominant, it's the 5th, and that's important for us to know too. All right, so here we go. We've got some time for this. Now, I'm going to make it easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the entire Dorian with the minor 7th chord, so that right here. Now I'm going to see how I put the Dorian right there. I'm going to line it up a little bit for you so that, but I was going to leave it a little skew so we knew it was there. So now we've got a double Dorian. We just replaced the Aeolian temporarily. Don't worry, it's only a go back away. It's a go back away. So now I've put the Dorian with the minor 7th chords, 2, 4, 6, root. Remember, root's the minor 7th of Dorian, the 2nd, next to our Locrian. Now remember, the purpose of this entire lecture, aside from the usual reviewing and all that stuff, is to play the Locrian chords in all 7 modes. 7, not just 5 now. 7 modes. What does that mean? Playing with the root as the lowest playable note. The 2nd is the lowest playable note. The 3rd is the lowest playable note. The 4th is the lowest playable note. The Lydian cage. The Mixolydian cage. With the 5th is the lowest playable note. The 6th is the lowest playable note. That whole cage, from the 6th on, okay, with the 5th is the lowest playable, it would be a cage here. 4th is the lowest playable, it would be a cage here, roughly. 3rd, 2nd, root, okay, and then way up here on the 7th, even the 7th and the 6th and the 7th as the lowest playable. Its own cage, and then the root again. So there's going to be 7 cages that we're going to exploit the fact we have half positions, originally wanting to play them as open chords, you know, and the system being, hey, we have an E-shaped C, an A-shaped F. Where's our what? We go from E to A to C. Where's our C-shaped G? An octave up here, we've got our C-shaped G right here. It goes into the little G shape up there. Okay, but that's really a half G shape. It's really a half D shape up there. Why? Because we don't have a full D shape up here. That's a full D shape. Let me explain the difference. And this has to do with the lesson. We have here a regular real deal D. Okay, if we drop that down a whole step here, so now part of that D shape is on the bar. That's like a half shape D. Okay, we do that with the minor. Here's a full shape D minor in the C box. But when we take that down for a half shape D minor, we're going to have to add these 2 guys down here, and we're going to call it a half shape D minor 7th. Okay, we're going to do that with all 5 shapes. Actually, any shape that is a difficulty that ends up either halfway on the bar or with a fully sunken note, such as the C and the G shape. We're going to have those. We're going to use those to make half diminished chords. Okay, so let's look at our first case. We have here the root box. We looked at that. We went way up and we looked at the root box. Okay, we're going to have a G minor shaped Dorian, and we're going to have to use the half shape, right? And we know why, because we've got 4 in that G minor, and then we don't have the 6th up here. Okay, so the 6th would be like where the D string indicator. By the way, these are the strings. So these are the strings: E, A, D, G, B, and E. So the 6 would be here. We don't have it. It's sunken. It's unplayable because this is the lowest playable note. So we've got a G. We're going to add the 7. So first let's find the good old-fashioned G minor half shape. That's important to know. We're going to find it in the Dorian version of this cage. Okay, we've got the 2, the 4, the root is the 7th of Dorian. Okay, it's local 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is really 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root of the root scale. So it's 7th. It's minor 7th is the root. We're going to add